In this video, we're going to go ahead and implement the dropping portion of our code. So if our held item is valid, we want to drop it. If we do not have a held item, we want to pick it up. Well, pick up an item. So what we're going to do is go to our drop. Well, better yet, we have to actually set that our held item is held. So currently, this is replicated. So we want to make sure we set this on the server and make sure everything's good to go there. So on the pickup, if we have authority, from here, we are setting held item. I just realized we already set that, so never mind. Completely ignore what I just did. Anyways, let's go to our drop. So we call drop if our item is, being held. So from here, we just want to simply release it. So we want to detach it. So what we can do here is held item, detach from actor, F detachment transform roles. And here we can pretty much just set it. So we're going to leave it to keep the world transform. So wherever we go to drop it, that's where it's going to be. We don't want it to move around or anything like that. So, and just to be safe, we're going to do a check. So if held item, again, to make sure we're good to go, then we'll run it. So we are calling this, in our case, we might call this on the client. So if this runs on the client, obviously there's a problem. We want to make sure we do this on the server. So what we're going to do is where we have this server interact, let's rename this to actually server pickup, because we ended up rewriting how our pickup works. So we're going to change it to server pickup instead of server interact and change where we call it. And that's all we have to do there, because now we're going to do the exact same thing except server underscore drop. And we don't need any parameters to worry about. So we create our server RPC for server drop, generate implementation. We're going to return true for the validate, and I'm going to do the validate above the implementation because that's just where I like it. Now on server drop, we're going to just simply recall drop, just like we're doing with pickup. So we go from the client to the server, and then from the server back to the drop function, or the function we want to call, so that way we only have one place where we alter the code. So if held item, whoops, we're going to do a check. So if we have authority, we will do this. We want to detach it. Otherwise, we want to call server underscore drop, and that's it. So this way, we try to drop the item. Let me go ahead and close down the editor. We try to drop the item on the client. We know we're on the client with this check here. So we run the else, we go to the server. The server then recalls drop, so we check the item is valid again. And we check that we are the server, in which case we are. So we drop the item. So let's just see what happens. So pick up the item, press F, and we just dropped it. Look over, the client's no longer holding the item. Check on the server, whoops. Same dealio, and we drop it. So we know we're good to go there. All right, and now we can no longer pick up the item on either the server or the client. So that is the reason, because we dropped it, we are not setting held item to be a null pointer. So we're just continually trying to quote unquote drop it. So what we're going to do is after we detach it, we set held item to equal a null pointer. So that way, when we run this check here, if held item, let me actually go back up to here. If held item is now going to be a null pointer, in which case we're going to try to pick up whatever we're looking at instead. Yes, I did do that. All right, so let's check it. Pick it up. I drop it. It's completely dropped. Pick it up again. I can do so. Drop it. And same thing on the server. Pick it up, drop it, pick it up, and drop it. So now we can pick up and drop our items, all fine. Oh, my right mouse button is getting very annoying. It keeps releasing like it's doing like this double click thing, and I don't know why it's driving me nuts. So I need a new one. I also don't want to buy a new one. Yeah, like right there, I'm trying to move, but it keeps letting go. Okay, that's getting really annoying. Anyhow, we are good to go there. We now have our pick up and hold, and we have the drop item. So we're also going to want to eventually, I kind of want to make these items, I don't know if I want to make them kind of physics items, so that way you can drop it and they're going to be controlled by physics as to where they land, or if I want to make them just static but make them snap down to whatever they actually land onto. I'll probably end up doing kind of a hybrid. So when you drop the item after, I don't know, 3 seconds, it becomes no longer physically based. So if you, let's say you roll a ball, the ball starts rolling after 3 seconds, it's going to suddenly stop rolling and it's going to stay in place. So that way, it keeps away from subtle annoyances, and we don't have to worry about some stupid stuff that much. So we might end up doing that instead of just snapping the item down in place. And then we have to worry about not being able to drop the item while it's inside of another object. And it's not obvious as to what I mean by that. I'm referring to this. I pick up this item and I throw it right in here. You'll partially see it. I press F. As you can see, it's now inside another item. I don't really want that to happen. So that's something we're going to have to set up and work with as well. But for the time being, it's not really a concern. So that's going to be it for this video. In the next video, we'll probably get into looking up and down via IK. Well, not IK, but we're going to be altering our spine bone. So currently, if I look down and up, as you can see, I look straight up. Come on, mouse. There we go. As you can see, I'm still looking the same way. If I look straight down, same deal. I'm not looking down, so I want us to be able to pivot at the hip. So I mentioned this in a previous video, where from the spine, come on, there we go. I want us to be able to rotate, just like that, as well as have it be replicated. So that should be quite easy to do, quite quick, and it should be hopefully effective and do what we want, because that's obviously the main thing. We want it to do what we want. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and drop the video here because I'm getting rambling. Well, I'm starting to ramble and I'm getting frustrated because my freaking mouse. Anyways, if you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, you might link to my Patreon down in the description below, where we have a Team Deathmatch series just for Patrons, where we create Team Deathmatch from the ground up with C++. And if you do that, you'll support me in buying a new mouse. Anyways, same thing, Discord's link down below as well. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to join it and I'll try to help you out. So, I'll see you in the next video.